and rather has fallen into the trap, because they are not trying to counteract the... It is likely FaZe will be able to get the plant based on their smokes alone.
Right now they're using it for intel. You saw it jump up the square lobby skylight, just jump up and look around like we saw, for example, Redeemer doing on Oregon that one time. So it's got to get in position after that.
It has moved into position.
What is up, bras, and welcome back. And before we get into the video, I just want to apologize to the Coconut Brah family for the delay in the uploads, and I really wanted to give you guys an explanation. For the bras that follow me over on Instagram, you guys know that I have recently had a baby, and baby Brah is now a month old. But not just that, my wife and I are in the process of building our new home, so there's nothing bad or anything happening. There's just quite a lot going on in my life right now, but you guys know me, I won't ever stop, and I am relentless with Siege, and will always be bringing you bras the best tips and tricks no matter what is going on in my personal life. So just bear with me for a little bit longer, and you guys already know I'm putting a badass man cave in that house so that I can bring the Brah family the best content I can, and of course I'll be sure to share it all with you guys how the setup goes. But anyways, this first tip is going to be just a new way how you can use Echo. I never really used Echo that much, but I thought this was really innovative. There's a bunch of different skylights and areas that you can actually vault up and just get a ton of information with the camera on the drone. So I thought that was really creative and a great thing to keep in mind the next time you're playing Echo.
Quite a bit more because of his full deploy, but overall, either shield would have worked in that situation, I'm sure. Clan Mav, who's got some pretty well-placed jammers, which are, of course, going to hinder the gaming drone game.
I like how they've set up the walls as well, just to make it difficult for them to open them up as much as possible. And the Thermite's busy up on the skylight, trying to help cover the server hatch, rather than here opening up the walls like we see usually.
Yes, not very many. Yeah, a single smoke for attack, and at 50 seconds left, they've successfully baited out, I believe, 2 gas canisters, but no potential C4s have been baited out, which means Cameraman almost certainly still has one, as well as probably Mav. Oh, there you go. The last gas canister will get Yuna. Surroundings. Gohan, the first defender to fall. We see Moringa get the refrag early on. FK will get one as he pushes into the site. Astro.
Alright, so this next tip is something that's similar, but kind of a combination of something that we've seen before. So you guys know the strategy of opening up this wall so that a soft breacher has to open it for you. But now what's really cool about this is because Lion is so popular, you have even better odds that there's not going to be a soft breacher. And a really good example of this is BC of Evil Geniuses used to main Buck, and now he plays mostly Lion. By opening up these walls, Thermite has a very difficult time finding a place to place a breach charge on this location, because you can't just place it on any of the support beams. So what this does now is not only that, but as soon as anybody enters the server room from the sewer entrance, they're going to be vulnerable to anybody that's holding up in the hallway. Now you guys know there's a million different types of mirror setups, but you guys can see from this angle, literally, because I have openings in the wall, there's not very many places that is safe. And you guys can see that Glaz was kind of stuck behind the little server rack, and if he peeks out from any direction, he's very vulnerable. It's definitely going to slow the attack down.
The CEO strategies we've been seeing are like 4 for 5, 4 for 6, something like that.
Which is, much better than it used to be. Yeah, that's for sure.
So the top floor has been pretty successful in the...
Alright, now this tip for defenders isn't necessarily specific for just Bank. Now this is something that I've noticed when I go on defense that I have a lot more opportunities to do besides just on this map and this bomb site. There's many different bomb sites where if you open up a line on the floor, you create one of those really hard angles for attackers to push, because they have to be checking so many different angles. And in order for me to see somebody that's holding an angle all the way on the ground pushed all the way back, I also have to lie down. So right here, if I get into a firefight, I'm going to just get taken out from the side on my foot. Very dangerous spot.
You and I, we know that there's no one upstairs, but
they don't.
FaZe has to learn that the hard way, so they're going to be putting in that time and effort. Most of the mute jammers obviously going to be downstairs, as this is a primary anchor site.
Alright, now you guys can probably tell, but for a lot of my tip titles, I use a lot of puns. So, pun intended on this one. This is not a trash angle. It's just that you're going to be standing on top of the trash cans, and everybody has been in a situation where they're pushing garage, and everybody knows the person is going to be lying down behind the ambulance or just holding an angle. By vaulting up on top of these trash cans, you're actually going to have a completely different line of sight that you can still stand and reach. So if somebody comes lying down, they're not going to really see you underneath the ambulance. And so just for example, I'm going to quickly put a hole in the wall and show you guys what this angle looks like. So if I'm an attacker and I lie down, it's so easy to take anybody out, and everybody has been in this firefight a million times. But if I'm checking under the ambulance and then I get taken out from the top, whoever's sitting on top of these trash cans is going to have the first shot, going to be a big advantage even if I see them. But you guys can tell from these bullet holes, it's just going to be the very tip of their head poking up from this ambulance. Really creative way to hold garage. Keep this one in mind next time you defend downstairs a bank.
On these attacks that both these teams have been doing once they get that control, so they're going to have to actually start picking off defenders, and that's where it's been hard. If those defenders aren't giving themselves up on roam, they're definitely not giving themselves up on sight. At least the Echo's able to play in garage this time for a while.
He's paying attention to the garage,
yeah,
for sure. He doesn't want to get flanked again. Just a bit of a stall out here from FaZe Clan. Missed shot there, just barely.
Alright, so going back into the lockers, this is going to kind of play into one of the million different types of mirror setups that you can hold. Another variation is you can put a mirror up inside of the lockers, and from here you can actually get a crazy nutty angle onto the hatches into open area. And you guys saw he was so close to taking him out. This is not a very common angle that I have seen personally. So definitely keep this one in mind. Put an extra hole inside of the lockers wall, and this is pretty much a guaranteed hatch that's going to get opened. If anybody decides to step wrong as an attacker, this is going to be such a crazy angle. And you guys can see it right here, man. I am super excited to get back into some games and test this one out. This one's very nutty.
We could see some more cash defense.
the only time I'll count cash is payday. It's just the only time I count cash is on my actual payday. So it's just
Alright, now we're going to be taking people out in Blue Hall, or anybody that enters the church from this church murder hole. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to end up just shooting out this cabinet, but I want you guys to keep in mind that you don't have to create such a huge murder hole. You can literally just crouch or lie down, and you will be able to melee not just the front opening door of the cabinet, but also the back. For some reason, your gun is able to reach all the way to the back of the cabinet, so you don't have to shoot it out. You can just melee it. But from here, you can pretty much watch all of this wall that goes back into the hallway. You can even get an angle that's really close to the hatch and anybody that wraps around the wrong side. And you guys can see right here, it's very difficult to see. It blends in with the walls. And this is another one of those angles where they have so many different areas to check. It's going to be pretty rare that the attacker is going to have the first shot on somebody behind this cabinet.
honestly, if you're going to fight someone in that tunnel.
They don't have a single one of the shoving operators that are oh so efficient at pushing tunnel.
Yeah, well, the deployable shield helping right there as well, because he doesn't know he's actually climbed a little bit higher than that.
Will it be followed up by a drop? It certainly must be. With only 20 seconds, they've got to go. Moringa through the smoke, gonna get spawns. Gohan pushes in, gets one for himself, and it's...
Alright, now I really like tricks like this where you're taking a place that's very commonly played and kind of playing risky a little bit because you're not going to really have cover. What you're relying on is them thinking you're in a really obvious place and then being somewhere else, and that allows you to get the first shot even though you may not have cover. So what we saw right here was that the attacker believed he was behind the metal shelves, but what he was actually doing was just sitting up here with no cover on top of the little workbench. And you guys saw it, as soon as he dropped, he was able to take him out, and the attacker had no idea where he was. Even though he had no cover, he was very vulnerable. Just that little mind trick was going to get him the first shot.
I mean, most teams typically try to play him extremely passive.
Wow,
that is not supposed to happen. Yuna gonna go down, but he'll be...
Alright, so this video so far has been pretty much all defensive tips. Now, this one is going to be a tip for both attackers and defenders. Now, the tip for defenders is pretty much don't ever stand in the doorway, especially when they start opening up kitchen. Now, the reason for that is that attackers can get a crazy nutty angle from kitchen all the way down through the church door and deep inside of the church, pretty much almost halfway there. Not only that, but they're going to be able to roll grenades and all kinds of stuff from this angle. Now I'll show you guys exactly what this looks like. Now you guys can see that these bullet holes go very far back in the church, and this is one of those tricky angles where unless I'm lying down, the attackers will be able to see my feet without me seeing them. So this is one of those angles, it's very hard to see from the defensive point of view with all the things in the way. So it's one of those positions where you need to be cautious at all times.
Managed to walk into blue without any contention whatsoever from the FK1, the Jaeger. So
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to be throwing a Valkyrie camera inside of this little beer cooler, and what's really cool about this is you can get the Valkyrie cam almost half invisible because half of it is going to be covered by one of the lights up top, and so pretty much just from the bottom blue light and the bottom half of the cam will be showing. This is a great one to keep in mind. It's such a common area. People love to go into stockroom, open up the hatches. You're going to get some good information from this one.
Enough, it looks like they are going to bring it out. As you said, maybe an act of creativity or desperation, depending on how you want to see it at this point, in response to, well, basement being hard to defend. So we'll see though. FaZe, if anyone could pull it off, FaZe would be a team to potentially do it here.
Alright guys, so the moment we've all been waiting for. Now I apologize, it happened to be the last tip. You guys do know me, I go in chronological order of the tips within the video, and this was my favorite one. This honestly is one of the nuttiest cameras I've ever seen on Clubhouse. So from right here, we're going to be just shooting out a murder hole inside of the office wall, and from here we're going to make sure that we throw the cam high enough it's going to land on the smoke vent. And from here, I'm going to show you guys in just a sec. I'm going to go up there. The smoke blocks pretty much no view of the camera, but to anybody that's standing up top, it's very, very difficult to see. Pretty much invisible almost. So this is a great one. I'm going to start using this one all the time, man. This is a very difficult one to see, especially if they don't have an IQ or something. This is one of those rare cams that could honestly go on the entire round. And that is very, very rare in this day and age of Siege in Year 3. Well, anyways, bros, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed these 10 tips. Let me know what your guys' favorite one was. And of course, as always, I got so much stuff planned. Just a matter of time, me kind of working out my schedule, but do not worry, I am relentless. I'm going to get it all out for you guys, no matter what happens in my personal life. I love you guys all. See you guys all very soon in the next video. Peace.